Well, they say some things never change. Good afternoon, everybody. And I say good afternoon because I haven't said that in 5 years doing this show. Because the show's always been at 9:30, but today it's 3 o'clock, baby. Next week it's 9:30, then we go to 3 o'clock continuously. Welcome to Weber This Week. Today, Tomas, his son Joe, in talking about their good Italian eatery in Geneva, New York. It's called, and I'm going to screw this up right from the get-go. It's called La Mia Bella Sicilia. How'd I do, Tomas?
You got it.
I'm good
La
at
Mia
that.
Bella Sicilia.
All right, so we welcome you, folks. It's good to be back on the air. I've been off a couple of weeks. Thanks to Jimmy for filling in. He'll be filling in next week, interviewing Jim Spina. For you fans of Jim Spina, the head of recreation and many other apparatuses of the town of Seneca Falls. And then I'll be back on the 27th, and we should be good to go unless something happens. As you probably already know, the reason that it's 3 o'clock is I got a part-time gig at the Del Lago Resort and Casino. And I always said I wanted to make some money so I could lose some money. Just kidding. It's a lot of fun. I engage a lot of people during the course of the 4 or 5 hours that I've been working there every day, and it's a lot of fun. So we're going to try to do two things at once. So let's get to our guests today. And thanks, guys, for coming in on a miserable Monday, but it's getting a little better out there. Let's start with you, Tomas. Talk about where you were born and talk about your schooling and how you ended up being a restaurant owner in Geneva, New York.
Well, first, thanks, Doug, for having us here.
No problem.
I was born in Norwich, New York, which is a small town north of Binghamton, New York. And I had been in higher education for a number of years. Started working at Cortland State, Buffalo State, then Alfred University for a number of years. And then started at Syracuse in 2001. I've been at had been at Syracuse since 2001. In 2006, became the dean of students at the law school. And then in 2016, Joe and I, we had just had a great New Year's Eve, and I got back on the road and I started calculating the number of hours that I've been in the car. And since 2001, commuting back and forth to Syracuse, I had been in the car over a year.
Oh, my God.
And so, went into campus, let them know that I'd get them through graduation. Graduation was May 16th. My going away party was the 18th. Joe got married on the 28th of May. And then I was in Sicily June 4th. I was in Sicily for about a month and a half, and we had always talked about opening something because the family had always wanted to do something like that, maybe a coffee shop or something. We weren't really sure. Well, he messaged me while I was over in Sicily and said, hey, this place opened up across from the Smith. And our idea was to combine the food with the music and the cultural aspect, and this seemed like a perfect spot. And I was like, well, if it's open when we get back, we'll take a look at it. Got back in mid-July. We went over, took a look at it, and said, okay, let's see what we can do. And we started working on it, and it's been an amazing, difficult, and but a rewarding experience. I mean, mostly I get to, for getting to work with Joe.
Sure, exactly.
But also really giving the people some good Italian food, stuff that they're not used to.
And you never had restaurant experience.
Not a lick.
So it's an unlikely story. The fact that nobody had any previous restaurant business that you would delve in, which is a tough job, delve into getting a restaurant.
Yeah, I always tell people I thought as dean of students and teaching legal issues in higher education, I thought that was tough. That was nothing compared to what we've been doing. So it's been great. And Joe's been fantastic. He was in Tuscany for 3 months working at a winery and learning about wine, and he's brought that back to us. So
that's good. Okay, Joe, talk a little about yourself, where you were born, give us your school background, and you and me talked about where you got engaged. That was pretty impressive as well.
Oh, yeah. So I guess I can start at the beginning.
Sure.
I was born in Hornell, New York, and then moved up to Waterloo and Phelps. Been in that area for a long time. And so I've been around. I know a lot of people in Geneva.
Sure.
And so moving to, Italian adventures, we went to Sicily, and our first or second day in Palermo, probably the first morning that we were in Palermo, my wife and I, or my girlfriend at the time, said, "Oh, let's see the sunrise because I'm sure it's beautiful over the Palermo Bay and everything." And so we totally slept through the alarm because it was way too early, jet lag, all that stuff.
Sure.
And so the second day we got up and we actually walked down, I think it was a couple of miles from where we were down to the bay. Mm-hmm. And the sunrise was beautiful, and the rocks and the water and the fishermen, and there was a litter of wild kittens playing. I think we talked about this.
Right, it's great.
And I figured that's got to be the place. So I proposed to her.
That's amazing.
She said, "Is it for me?" That was what she said. And I said, "Yep, yeah, it's for you." So that was great. And then we had some wine adventures there, and then my wife and I went to Tuscany for 2.5 months. And so the plan really is to bring all of that wine experience back to make wine for the cafe, for Bella's, and sort of bring that, that Italian wine. There's a little bit of a presence, but it's not as much as I think it could be in the industry here.
In time, it will improve and get bigger. Mm-hmm. I guess, Joe, we had a chat when I had the mistake. It was a great mistake. I ordered the fried bologna, which I love, and Joe was there at the bar. We were chit-chatting, and I like fried bologna sandwiches, and I tell you what, I took half of it home. It was such a huge sandwich. So if you're into fried bologna like the dog, check it out. They have, a great lunch menu, and it was a huge sandwich. And I brought the other half to my daughter, Sam, who we had in for dinner that night. And but I got to tell you, Joe, I'll be 72, God willing, come April 29th this year, but I got to think that none of your friends, and I'm sure you have a lot of close friends, and all the acquaintances that you have could never outdo you getting engaged in Sicily. I mean,
it's up there. The watermark's pretty high.
I'm not sure the watermark goes any higher.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about a romantic place, and you think about Sicily is one of the ultimate.
Right.
And you had the opportunity to get on your knee. Did you get on your knee like they say on TV?
Yeah.
All right, that's good.
The classic.
The classic move.
Sure.
So I'm not sure I've ever heard a story in my lifetime. Maybe Jimmy has heard it. That's impressive.
Well,
getting engaged in Sicily.
The interesting, one of the fun things about this was he had told me he was going to try and do it that first day.
That's nice.
And so when I got up and I was ready to go to breakfast with him, I thought he had already done it. Oh. So I was ready to bust out and say, "Congratulations, welcome to the family," all that kind of stuff. And I get to the door, and he's standing behind her doing this kind of thing. And I was like, okay, obviously something's not right. And they had slept through the whole thing.
Hey, you got to get your sleep, especially jet lag.
Yep.
Well, we're with Joe and Tomas Gonzalez, the owners of La Mia Bella Sicilia. And I'll tell you something, folks. I got to get back to Tomas. They are my special guest this morning on our brand new show at 3 o'clock. People have been asking me since they knew you were coming on, how do you relate the last name of Gonzalez to, I know I was going to ask you that question, to Sicilia. Sure. So explain how that connection is.
Sure. Well, my father's family was from Spain, but my mother's family is all from Sicily.
Okay.
And so my grandfather on my mother's side was born in Palermo. My grandmother was born south of Messina in Sicily. But the Spanish-Italian connection is a little odd, a little fiery sometimes, that kind of thing in the family. But yeah, that's they're from Spain, and I just did the ancestry. We did that kind of thing, and so 46% Italian and 29% Spanish, and because my grandmother on my father's side, her family, they left Spain and went to Sicily. And they were in Sicily for a few generations, and then they came over to the United States and settled in Florida. So the last name Gonzalez does throw people for a loop, but we're half Sicilian.
Well, it did when I first found out your last name. I said, I'm trying to figure out the connection here.
Sure.
That's great. Well, I'll tell you, I married a Sicilian, and she was having dinner with you at your restaurant with my daughter and my granddaughter, and I've been with her 50 years, married. We'll be 51 May 7th.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. And when asked why you've been with the dog for 50-some years, she says, I'd never owned a gun. And I tell the story once in a while when I step out of line, which I've done a few, I guess, during my lifetime with her.
Sure.
She has me watch the Godfather film. The horse's head scene.
Sure.
Classic.
Yeah.
But Mary has a great line when they ask her nationality. She says, hey, I'm better than Italian. I'm Sicilian.
That's right.
So I have heard it many times.
Sure.
She's a great wife and a great mom and great grandmother as well. So we're joined this afternoon. I want to say this afternoon with Joe and Tomas Gonzalez, the owners of the, you got it, La Mia Bella Sicilia, and we're going to talk about their menu. We're going to talk about what's going on with their present menu and how they're going to expand it down the road if they're going to expand it, and we're going to do a whole lot more. This is Weber This Week on our first Monday afternoon, and we're going to also, before we take our commercial break, it gives me an opportunity to salute a couple of local people that deserve recognition, and I'm talking about, they had this football contest, last man, last woman standing, and I saw an article in the paper, and I want to really praise a young lady who lives in Fayette. Her name is Patty Earp. She won it. She beat all the guys in the last man/woman standing, a contest run by my friends up at the Finger Lakes Times. And she won a recliner. That's right, a recliner worth about $1,000, okay? She didn't take it. You know what she did? She donated it. And I thought that was so classy. She's from Fayette, and she is a certified occupational therapy assistant. And she knew there was somebody there that always wanted a recliner. So Patty Earp, here on Weber This Week in the afternoon, I salute you. Congratulations. That's what I think is kindness and the generosity that makes America great. So really, it's spectacular. Is that nice?
Definitely.
That's unbelievable.
I can think of 99% of the people hauling that recliner in the back of a truck, bringing it home, and she donated to somebody in the facility that she helps out, and she donated to that young lady. So congratulations goes out from Weber This Week to Patty Earp, who's out in Fayette, New York. And Jimmy and myself would like to send out kudos to a gentleman who coaches tennis at Minders Academy. His name is Mike Merriam. Mike is been given a prestigious award. He got the award from the Virginia and Chuck Landis High School Coach of the Year. Pretty impressive, Jim, and I know you're familiar with that, with Mike, Jim, and I know you want to send out kudos as well. A fantastic job.
Yeah, that's a national award. He won for the whole Northeast.
Yeah,
it's a national organization.
That's amazing.
Long-time coach, and really he's had a lot of success recently winning sectional titles for Minders Tennis. He really built the program from scratch. So
congratulations to Patty Earp and to Mike Merriam as we spotlight them on the Weber Show here on a snowy, but it's starting to get better. And the weather's supposed to be pretty good the rest of the week. We're talking 40s in a couple of days. Let's take our commercial break here from the great sponsors to make this show possible. When we come back, we'll be talking menu with the guys that are here. Cayuga Lake National Bank. Visit Bill Ryan and his team for all of your banking needs. Offices in Union Springs and Aurora, a fine sponsor of this show for over 30 years. DA Liquor on Bridge Street in Seneca Falls. Amy Padula and her team will find the right spirit for you every time. When you stop in, tell Amy the dog sent you. Steve Wadhams and Wadhams Enterprises, your local employer of choice. Proud supporter of Weber This Week and local athletics. Fill out an application at wadhams.com. The Gould Hotel welcomes you to come out and enjoy the revitalization of this historic downtown Seneca Falls landmark. Every Wednesday is Ladies' Night with special price drinks and half-priced appetizers. Learn more at thegouldhotel.com. The Omen Theater on William Street in Lyons. See what's playing this week at omentheater.com. Located off New York State Thruway Exit 41, the McGee Diner has earned their reputation as a popular family restaurant, serving country, fresh, home-cooked meals daily. Stop in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and check out their menu at McGeeDiner.com. Del Lago Resort and Casino will feature a luxurious 205-room hotel, several restaurants ranging from casual to fine dining, and a 2,500 capacity entertainment venue called The Vine. The casino will have 2,000 slot machines, 75 table games, and 10 poker tables. Visit www.delagoresort.com. Seneca Metals is an award-winning company that has earned a reputation of going above and beyond to protect the environment and support their community. As an EPA inspector once said, their operation is head and shoulders above the rest. The Seneca Falls Country Club, awesome 18-hole layout, open to the public, and a 12-month payment plan for members. Check out SenecaFallsCountryClub.com. And the Newark Pilots of the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League, a minor league team with a major league ballpark. Season ticket packages available at NewarkPilots.com. And the Wilson Press in Seneca Falls. My good pal Rich Rickey and his team can handle all of your printing and mailing needs. Visit them online at wpress.com. Rich Rickey and Wilson Press, a fine sponsor of Weber This Week. Hey, by the way, welcome back to Weber This Week on a Monday afternoon. It's good to have you alongside. Talking to Joe and Tomas Gonzalez about their restaurant in Geneva. We'll get back to them in just a second, but I told Marcy out of Seneca Metals they have events going on through the next couple of months. I'd like to plug them if you're interested in going. We have a Thirsty Owl wine pairing. Kick back with Thirsty Owl wine maker Sean Kime as he puts together an award-winning wine and a host of food favors. It's party time of the month. Location, Seneca Metals Educational Center. That's on 1977 State Route 414, Seneca Falls. It's coming up Thursday, February 16th, this coming Thursday. So if you're interested in going, get a hold of them right away. 6:30 to 7:30. It's $8 per person. You got to obviously be 21 or older to take part in that. And then coming up down the road, another week past that, Stomp Rocket Build and Launch. Stomp Rockets are super fun to make and really cool to launch. It's amazing what kids can do with paper, PVC pipe, and balloons. Come see how the rocket works and will fly. All materials are provided by Seneca Metals. That, of course, will be in the same location, Seneca Metals Educational Center, 1977 State Route 414 in Seneca Falls. That's Saturday, February 25th. That'll go from 3 to 4 o'clock. That's free. FREE program type is a family event. So if you're interested in taking part, get a hold of Seneca Metals. They can be contacted by giving them a buzz. Their phone number out there is 315-539-5624. Or you can email them at seneca.metals@progressivewaste.com. So we like to plug those events. A lot of them are free and some are very reasonable. Take part in what Seneca Metals tries to offer to the general public. Well, let's go back and talk a little bit first to Tomas about the menu. We obviously were in there having some nice pasta. I had some ziti. Salad was outstanding. I love it. And I even think you had black olives on it, which is one of my desires. I'd be getting Joe running down to Wegmans to get me some black olives for my salad. I love black olives. And I had a good time, and I had a side of sausage and meatballs. The sausage was a little hot, which I liked. So I enjoyed it. It was great. My daughter and I think my wife, I don't know, I think Izzy might have had the chicken parm, and they had plenty of food to eat. So as you look at your menu, I know it's predominantly pasta right now, but as you look down the road, I would think you'd expand that to some degree, correct?
We are. We are going to be expanding. The whole idea that we talked about as we went through this was to make it a place that people can come back to every week. We didn't want the cost to be outrageous, and we want to give a lot of good food.
Right.
And we think we've really struck that balance. And we have a heavy Sicilian emphasis. Things like the rice balls, which is a arancini, which is a famous Sicilian street food.
Right.
A lot of the desserts, cassetta, and some of the other cakes, and panelle, which is a chickpea fritter type thing. So we really focused on that, and we wanted to make sure that we hit it and
Right.
did it really well.
Sure.
But you're right. We are going to expand. We're going to be adding in some meats and veal
Right. Yeah.
and some other some fish and a few other things. We have fish specials on Friday and Saturday, but we'll be expanding that. As we move on. And so Joe does a lot of the wine aspects of it. I've taken the lead on the food part of it.
Sure.
But that was the real goal, was to start out small, make it good so
Right.
that people could, and reasonable so people could come back
Yeah.
often.
And Joe, touch on that as well. You're going to improve the wine offerings and enhance that.
Definitely. Right now we have in the Finger Lakes we have Belangelo, Villa Belangelo, Ventosa. Those are our two main offerings, and we also have a bevy of wines from Italy and Sicily, ranging from white wines like Verdicchio. We have red wine, Frappato. We have quite a few different things, but we're always looking at different distributors in different regions and grapes and different experiences in terms of wine. That was one of the things we wanted to really focus on, was how we can bring a little chunk of our experience back in wine and food and in culture.
Well, we're talking about dinners. I had the chance to sit with Joe and have lunch, which I'll stop in when I'm in Geneva to have lunch there. But your menu for lunch is very good. You have a special sandwich every day?
We do. We have special sandwiches. We have a couple soups of home, and everything is homemade.
Right.
Everything is made that day.
Perfect.
Because we sell out of everything.
Exactly.
So that's really, we've been pleased about that. And so we have a ton and you were talking about the fried bologna.
Oh, yeah.
I had never had fried bologna. It's
great.
And everybody's saying, what kind of Italian are you? I was like, well, I guess not a very good one. But,
It's good.
Yeah, our chef cooked it up for us, and it was great. And so we've been testing everything to make sure it's got to get by us first.
You guys are the tasters.
We are the
Yep.
Can you tell? Yeah, I'm definitely the taster.
It's okay.
But no, when we were over in Sicily, we just the fresh fish, the fresh sauce, the fresh pasta, the fresh salads. We just wanted to make sure that's what we were shooting for, and I've been really pleased that we've been able to do that.
Well, with any business, wait staff is important. When we were there, we had Casey at bat, as I call her.
Yeah.
Casey. She's a good girl.
She is.
My years of going to meals, where she was at, and I'm sure other places, but very nice. So talk a little bit about your weight team. I mean, you got a staff there, and I know you decide, do you have too many people on the floor working? Do you not have enough people? And I guess that's a balancing act, right, Joe, or whatever?
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough.
It is.
Because you don't know how many people to bring in.
Well, that's the thing, especially being new.
Right.
There are days when we think, oh, there's not going to be, no one's going to be there, and then everybody in everybody in Geneva decides we're having lunch at noon, and the place fills up.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on?
You get slammed.
And then nights you think that that it's not that you're going to be packed,
And you're not.
You're not.
Yeah.
But and so it is. It is a balancing act, especially at first. We're going to be expanding in the summer so that we have out on the sidewalk. We'll have tables, and
that's nice.
so we'll be adding some staff there. But no, we have a great staff.
Yeah.
They enjoy it. And the nice thing is they know, most of them have been in. You said we don't have the restaurant experience.
They do.
We've been fortunate. Yeah, Casey and the others. Patty and everybody else, Linda and the whole crew there. They've had tons of experience. So people will come in, hey, Linda, hey, Patty.
I know.
And I'm like, geez, I'm the only one they don't know.
Yep.
So we try to get to the tables every day,
Sure.
and go to each table during lunch and dinner. We both sing. I sing Happy Birthday, and
Nice.
we sing at night, and we'll be having special. In fact, in 3 weeks, I think we'll be performing on a Tuesday
Nice.
night.
Great.
So we're really invested, not just as outside owners, but we're heavily invested in the day-to-day.
Well, I know one way to get nobody to come to your place, have me sing.
Well, we got an opening in April, if you want.
No, dog cannot carry a tune. And I admit it, I'll listen to good music. I can't perform it.
Can you lip sync? Because if we could do something
No, I
like
can't
that.
even do
No.
that. I'm a little uncoordinated now. I'll just sit there and have my Italian food
There you
and watch
go.
you guys
That'll
and listen
work.
to you guys.
That'll
But
work.
let's talk about the chefs in the back. Who's the cooks? And give me some names of cooks that are working there.
Yeah.
That are doing the work for you.
Sure. Mike and Ethan and Eddie, and it's a great team. They've, like I said, all the sauce and the meatballs and all the salad, everything is fresh every day. And that was really important. When we were in Sicily, the first night we went to this restaurant outside of Palermo, and everything we ate had been caught in the Mediterranean that day.
Yeah.
And so, you mentioned the sausage. We get sausage, from Madia's. I mean, it's fresh. Everything's fresh made, and that's the important piece of it. But the back end guys do a great job. And again, we're fortunate. They've all been experienced throughout Geneva and other places, and we're real happy we got a good team.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Joe, when you and your dad took over the ownership, you've been in business now. When did you just open the place for? You had a pre-opening? When was that?
So December 6th was the soft opening.
So it's a couple months.
Yep, and then January 6th was the grand opening.
Okay. Has it met your expectations? Has it been as good as you thought it would be?
It's been.
You had no
incredible.
idea what the expectations might have been at the point.
Yep. If anything, it exceeded in terms of both the turnout and the support from people, as well as the work. It's a lot of work, and I haven't even seen as much of it as my dad has. But going in every day, it's the little things that make or break. All these little decisions that stack up throughout a day that you just have to make on the drop of a hat, and they have to be the right decision.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Tomas, how about you? Did it meet your expectations so
It
far?
has. It's well beyond it.
That's great.
I had actually thought, if we can sell some desserts and coffee, and we'll be okay. And it just took off. And this is the slow time of year, and we're still busy.
That's good.
So summer, I don't know. I got to get back in shape or something, because it's going to be running crazy. So,
But
we're looking forward to
that's
it.
a good thing, though.
It is.
You'd rather have them coming in.
Yeah.
It's the
Like-
best
like
problem
on-
to have.
on a Friday or Saturday night, you have to have reservations.
That's awesome.
And I feel so bad. We both were talking about this. Feel so bad turning people away.
I know.
Yep.
But it's not a huge place.
How many does it hold?
Yeah, we can seat comfortably between 65 and 70.
Okay.
So it's not.
You don't want to get them in there like sardines either, to be uncomfortable
We don't.
either. So
And we want them to be comfortable. And it's just, you feel bad. And fortunately, the food is so good. People are like, oh, I'm coming back.
Yeah.
But we hate turning anybody away,
Sure.
and we try and, accommodate everybody we can.
it's a good problem to have, but it's another
Yeah.
problem you want to try to rectify. God, what are you going to do? People are trying to come and eat at your restaurant.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to be doing a lot of music, like I said, every Tuesday night. We call it Tunes on Tuesday. This week, the Cool Club and the Lipker Sisters are performing. And then the following week, we've got Kate McGowan and Dave, her guitarist. And then the week after that, we're performing.
Yep.
And the week after that, Artistic License. So we've got a number. Stan Profit's going to be playing. So we've got on Tuesday nights especially, we've got a lot of music. But we're going to be doing music throughout the
awesome.
week.
Yep.
So
I told you this half hour is going to go fast. It's
Yeah.
almost 3:29.
It's
So one thing's for sure, I'll be back. I'll be
Thank you.
joining with my
Thank you.
family,
Thank
and
you. We
we look
appreciate
forward to frequenting your place quite often when I'm into Geneva. My daughter lives up there, and my granddaughter obviously as well. But looking forward to spending a lot of time at your place. And
Well, we really appreciate you having us.
well, I appreciate.
been great.
We'll get you back maybe 6-8 months down the road, so you get an update.
Perfect.
Sounds awesome.
Perfect.
This is Tomas and son Joe Gonzalez, owners of the Mia Bella Sicilia. They are right across from Eddie O's and Parker's in Geneva. They've been Sacones, I remember Morgan's, and a host of other names on that place.
Yep.
And we hope these guys keep it that way for a long, long time. So, again, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
By the
Thank
way,
you.
before we sign off, let's go a couple of quick sports notes. SU basketball, of course, will they make the NCAA or will they not? They come off a loss to Pittsburgh. They had a 5-game winning streak going on. I talked to Jimmy. I think Jimmy and myself agree they got Louisville, big one tonight on ESPN at 7 o'clock. Then you got another trip to Louisville. They play them in Louisville. They play Duke at home. They play a home and away with Georgia Tech. So there's 5 games left. My gut feeling, unless Jimmy disagrees, they got to win one of the Louisville games and they got to beat Duke. If they do that and Duke's beatable, then I believe they're going to be NCAA bound. Jimmy, I got to get your opinion on that. You agree with that theory?
They need to get to 12 ACC wins. It doesn't matter what combination, and they'll be in no matter what.
Okay, and that's how many more? They are at 10? They got
No, I think they're at 9, right?
9. So you need 3?
3 more wins.
3 out of the next 5.
The next 5, any combination.
Okay. Fingers are crossed. All the SU fans are hoping it should be a raucous crowd tonight in the old Carrier Dome, and the weather's improving. So that I walk up the hill won't cause any major problems. And I've been able to go up that hill a few times, and it's brutal when it's bad out.
Oh, yeah.
You could write a book about that.
Absolutely.
Hey, real quick, I went to that Bad Company concert at
A
the
lot of good
Vine at
reviews.
Del Lago,
Yep.
and then a lot of people I know went to the Flow Rider
Yeah.
concert, and it's an amazing room for a
Yep.
show.
Yep.
It's amazing. The
Yep.
acoustics,
Yeah, I heard the best quality.
the sight lines,
Yep.
the amenities. It was
Yep.
amazing.
A lot of great reviews. Jeff Babinski, who's going to come on in a few weeks, he was thrilled with the reviews of that opening of the Vine Act. And we're going Saturday night, myself and Mary, to Get Her Done, Larry the Cable Guy. And he was playing at Pebble Beach over the weekend in the Pro-Am.
Well, you'll enjoy that room. It's unbelievable.
Yep.
And as I sat there and watched Bad Company, I just couldn't believe that I was entire.
That's amazing. I know they did spare no expense with the setup. You can understand that from a technical side of it. By the way, next week, Jim Spina will be interviewed by Jim Senecropi at 9:30 because he was originally scheduled for that hour. And then I'll be back on the 27th, and we'll resume our 3 o'clock and hopefully keep it at 3 o'clock. And I'll be here to host that show on 3 o'clock on Mondays, unless obviously I get pulled away at Del Lago Resort Casino. And then we have our main man, Jimmy, to fill in, and he does a great job. Speaking of Jim, we want to remind everybody, tomorrow night, the last basketball game regular season is going to be played here on Finger Lakes One broadcast. It'll be the Red Creek Rams coming to take on North Rolls Wolcott. That game will be tip-off time, what, Jimmy, about 7:30 in that area?
7:30, Tyler Norris Senior Night.
Bingo.
One of the best players in all the Wayne Finger Lakes past 3 years, or since we've been covering it. He's a special player, and so he'll be honored on Senior Night. And then also a great player in Nick Klein and Red Creek, so they'll be going head-to-head, and that's a big rivalry that you don't know about because it's up there in the corner of Wayne County, but it'll be a good one, 7:30.
And Jim will let us know what the plans are for postseason, and he'll be involved when he can be involved and when we are allowed to get into these operations because of certain rules and regulations. Jim will keep you posted on the homepage at fingerlakes1.com of our postseason plans. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you to Tomas and to Joe Gonzalez. And check it out, folks. It's the La Mia Bella Sicilia. Mamma mia, it's great food, folks. Check it out.